I then think in 100 years, when they look back on us, what are they going to say?
Yeah.
So I try not to judge too unkindly, because time, technology changes, laws change, but people don't.
Yeah.
You know, what they want, what they like, you know, the sun on their skin, somewhere safe to sleep, someone to love, have enough to eat, worship where you want. Like, really. In that way, we're all the same. And it's just the technology that's different.
Yeah.
This, before central heating, that is how they heat the room. So it's a wood-burning stove. I believe in 1925, one of the children, their aunt, was the custodian of the school. So she would come in at like 7 in the morning and light a fire. Now with heat, you don't necessarily want flames, because in the movies they show you the big flames, you know, the flames. You want the burning it out and the coals, hot, hot, hot. So then this is cast iron. So then this like physically gets hot, and the heat just radiates out. So the youngest children are sitting close to the heat. The older children are close to the light, because they're going to do the most writing. Now another thing, okay, so I'll show you this. One of she's passed away, Ruby. This was Ruby's lunch. She went to school in Burnaby in the 1920s. And so she had told us this was the kind of lunch she'd bring to school. So, fresh made bun, Mom made it home. It's not real food, of course, but it looks great. A carrot. We have a plum, something sweet, something crunchy and spicy, radishes, and a hard-boiled egg, and cheese. Delish. And occasionally in the wintertime, you'd bring, the teacher might make an announcement and you'd bring a potato, everybody would bring a potato from home, raw. And after recess, the teacher would take everybody's potato and put it in the fire. And wouldn't it smell so delicious, as everybody had hot baked potatoes for lunch. And chances are, if everyone didn't bring something, that somebody's family would donate fresh butter and everybody could have butter on their hot potato. The other story that she told us that I particularly love is in the winter when it got very, very, very cold, your own mother might wake up extra early. And of course, the first thing you do is light the stove, and she would bake a potato for you. And then you'd have, on your way to school, a hot potato to carry to keep your fingers warm. Isn't that sweet?
Yeah.
I could just imagine, like, of course they're wearing mittens, but I imagine like touching the hot potato with their nose. You know? So we call this Ruby's lunch in honor of Ruby, who was a volunteer for many, many years. Universities were complaining that students' applications, they couldn't read them. So they said, we need consistency. It was an American method, and Mr. McLean did not want to use an American method. So he and his brother-in-law spent a whole summer, so June, July, August, figuring out how to teach cursive writing. From the very beginning, when you don't know anything, and you're like 5-year-olds are not very coordinated, right?
Yeah.
So you're all the way up to being proficient. And you get one of these. And Mr. McLean would send this back to you after filling out your name and his own name.
amazing.
Everybody had to learn. The idea was not, the people complained, it's like, oh, everybody's handwriting looks the same. And that wasn't the idea. The idea was everybody's handwriting is legible.
Yeah.
You could be creative if you wanted, but you needed to, it has to be legible.
It's so hard, especially kids. When I was thinking kids, it was crazy.
Well,
Together.
so I think there's a few things at play that we don't necessarily think about. First of all, there was no like
Okay.
one voice. You can hear how loud it is. So the teacher would keep a thumb on the sound as much as possible. Just because there's so many students, everybody just can't offer their opinion. So it would be very much, if you have a question, raise your hand. Don't start talking and raise your hand. Raise your hand and wait until you're called upon. You'd have to do that. The teacher would lose their mind if the kids are just calling out. Some things they all did learn together. So like geography, they could learn together. There were some social studies. They had physical education, running outside and playing. But of course, a lot of elementary school at that time is cumulative learning. So writing this, mathematics, right? You can't just all learn together. You have to start at your own pace. But if there was 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. So if there was what? So if there was like this many desks, like 17, that's sort of manageable. Like we see this and kind of go, but that's sort of manageable.
Okay.
And the teachers, they were allowed corporal punishment, which is so it could either be like a ruler. I remember getting hit with a ruler on the hand. Wasn't fair. There were a lot of teachers that were like they didn't like to do that, and there were some teachers, and there must be, who liked doing that. So some teachers felt that part of the punishment was the embarrassment and the shame. So it would be, you'd stand and you'd bend over the desk and everybody's watching. So that's part of it. Some teachers felt that the punishment was private. So can you imagine how you would feel at 9:30 in the morning if you were told, stay after class? So the whole day you're just like, and eventually there was, in fact, a Burnaby teacher. And she had been, the Minister of Education had said, or the Premier had said, I would like you to be the Minister of Education. And she said, I won't consider it unless you stop corporal punishment in public schools. And that's what happened. I would actually love to know the research on like what we think of neurodivergence, what the percentage may have been in the general population in the 1920s. Or how much, as has been discussed, might have been caused by additives in the food, like whatever they think that is, because someone said like it feels like autism is everywhere, and I'm like, is it? Like, was it always? We just didn't know what it was. Like, because honestly, at a school like this, someone neurodivergent, dyslexic, there was no accommodation for them, unless they were lucky enough to get a teacher who recognized they had skills, but not these skills. The families were farmers. And at the end of the day, when they got home from school, there was work to be done. So mother would help, the girls would be helping mother with laundry or cooking or cleaning, like helping. And the boys the same thing, chopping wood, carrying wood, there was always things to do. Cows, I don't know if you know anything about dairy cows, every 12 hours they have to be milked, or they get really grumpy. If you have animals, you've got to buck out the barn or clean out the chicken coop, like that stuff has to happen. So, and children it wasn't no pampering. It's like everybody helps. Everybody has to help. So the teacher knew the children wouldn't have time to do homework. Some of them perhaps didn't have electricity. It's not fair, like oil lamps, how much paper might be available for them. It's not fair. So the children did their schoolwork at school time, and they were free the rest of it. But again, it's like that's I think an important lesson for children, certainly at the time, is that everybody has to contribute. You're a part of this family. You'll help what makes this family thrive. Everybody contributes. So on the wood burning stoves, they don't have temperature gauge. So you would have to know what kind of wood, how big the pieces for what you're cooking or what you're baking. And if you were making bread, you would open the oven, well, if you were baking anything, you would open the oven door and you just put your hand inside. Yeah, that's about right. Okay. And if you get it wrong, nobody eats, like no pressure. So that's the kind of thing you'd start learning as a girl with your grandmother or your mom or aunties or whoever. That's where at a time when that sort of strange time between the rich people that that. And then everyday people, it was just the women. That's where the value of being a good cook and a good homemaker, like that was currency for a woman.
Yeah.
Because then whoever she married would eat well.
Yeah.
And would, you know, we all get grumpy if we don't eat well,
Yeah.
right? So,
Yeah.
I know, and it seems, I look back, it's like, oh, it seems so sexist and so, but I then think in 100 years, when they look back on us, what are they gonna say?
Yeah.
So I try not to judge too unkindly, because time, technology changes, laws change, but people don't.